Hi everyone, I have this Colouring Heaven Pocket Edition to show you today. Now this is one of their pocket size magazines which you buy separately to the subscription, and it's available in some shops and on their website, and I will put a link to this issue for you in the description. Now this particular book is called Cottage Core. It's 32 whimsical designs of homely activities by Morgan O'Brien. So lovely Morgan O'Brien, who we know from Matchstick Mouse books. These are his designs. So if we open up, we can start to see the designs and how it works in the book. So here she is. I think this is Annie Day, I think her name is. So she's having a lovely read. It's raining outside. She's relaxing with little hedgehog friend there. Now we don't have names of the pictures, so here we go. She's doing some dressmaking. Look at that. She's clever, isn't she? Got the sewing machine, lots of little details, lovely bunting and things like that. Oh, and she is baking here. Look at him laughing, little hedgehog friend. So I think it's bread. I'm thinking, oh, it's got an egg. I don't know. Don't know then. Maybe pastry. And this one is quite a simple design. Now they're all similar to Matchstick Mouse in that they're in a little circle, so you don't have to colour the whole page. You can do something around there if you wish, or just leave it. Got a little frog friend here with a leaf umbrella. She's got a normal umbrella. And here she is just relaxing in the bath. You've got your chair and towel, all these plants and some candles and things as well. So that's really nice. Little plant there too, in a hanging plant. And what's she doing? She's sewing again. So this time she's making a quilt. And she's relaxing, having a snooze, listening to music, little cup of tea. Oh, it looks nice, doesn't it? Oh, some yoga, meditation, something like that. And here she is. This Matchstick Mouse. And we've got cotton reels and buttons and things here, and cotton, so I think she's made Matchstick Mouse a little jacket. And she's got a little pin in her hair scarf. Oh, here she's with a horse. She's got her helmet on. Very sensible. And she's rolling up a ball of wool. Little hedgehog's trying to help. Another cup of tea. More for lots of cups of tea. Oh, flower arranging. Look, she's got her apron on, and she's got all sorts of florals. You can put so many colours in here. There's quite detailed work on this one. Here, you need quite a fine pencil. Look at her feeding little baby piglet. She's got her apron on again. She's hanging out the washing. It's interesting, this is see-through. It's interesting. She's putting a pretty wreath up look on the door. We've got the post in the letterbox, ivy round. That's really pretty. Feeding the chickens. Oh, lovely hens. She's got a swing seat look. Writing in her journal maybe. Oh, bees. Beehives. It's interesting. She's walking her dog, but look, the sea, she's at the beach. She's got a bag. Do you think she's been shopping? Or maybe she's going to the beach. She's got a bag of picnic or something. Another sort of swing seat in the tree this time, a hedgehog. Now, she's been cutting lavender, I reckon. She's got a tail. I can't remember what she is. Is she a llama? Not sure. She's spinning. We've got all sorts of, oh, she's in the garden, isn't she? Look, it's got all the garden path and the florals. Oh, painting. She's got an old shirt on there. Picking blackberries. That's a cute one. Got a little wall, sky. Oh, and she's making, I was going to say it might be some blackberry jam, but actually it isn't. Look, because she's got a cabbage and some potatoes and carrots, so she's obviously making some sort of stew. Hedgehog's happy. And here she is drawing Matchstick Mouse. That's from Matchstick Mouse Springtime, I think. She's having a walk. It's very autumnal. Look, we've got leaves falling. She's coming down some steps. She's brushing her fur. I was going to say hair. It's fur. Oh, where is she here? Oh, she's buying candles. Look, she looks like she's in a florist. But we've got scented candles here. I'm guessing she's smelling one. Knitting. Lots of balls of wool. Oh, getting ready for Halloween. Look at that. Witch's hat, pumpkin. She's got a lovely warm sweater on. It's a fire. It's a nice one. Oh, snowballs for winter. I think, whoops, hang on. I'm going to colour one with you. And I think this one might be the most appropriate for this time of year. Don't you think? Let's put some paper behind the page. Just trying to do it. There we go. This is just some copy paper. A couple of sheets of copy paper. Let's come in there. There we go. Right, what pencils shall I use? I think I'm going to use my Chromaflow because we've got quite a few details on this one. I've got them here with me after just opening them up. Oops. There we go. Oops, sorry. I'm going to actually come out just a tad, and then if I knock it out of shot, it's okay. Right, where's my swatch chart for my Chromaflows? There it is. So I'm going to start, I think, with pumpkin. I'm just going to find the good colours. Let's start with the clementine, and do our orange pumpkin. It's quite a dark colour actually, isn't it? But we'll brighten it up in a bit. I'm just going to put some of this all over, and then we'll start to put in a few shadows and things. I can hear some banging. My neighbour's bang about outside or inside, maybe. Don't know. Now I've coloured a lot of pumpkins. What I tend to do is make it darker in here, so to the side of this, and then fade it out like that. Same here, so dark along there and then sort of fade it out a bit. Now when you get to this one, I'm going to go the other way, like that, and then a bit here, and there we go. Now we're going to use a different colour. Let's just pop that one back. That's the clementine. I think the mango might help us. Here it is. Mango, sort of like an orangey yellow, and we can sort of finish off these edges with this. This Chromaflow worked really nicely on this paper. I have to say Chromaflow are I'm quite surprised at how good they are on most papers. I know that sounds a bit rude, but sometimes I'm going to do these edges a little bit darker. Sometimes I find that Derwent pencils can be a little bit tricky, and because these are their cheaper range, I was going to say cheap is not, they are cheap, they are not, cheaper they are, because it's their cheaper range. I didn't expect them to be quite as good as they are. Very pleased with them. I'm very grateful to the lovely Claire who bought them for me. There we go. Now what we can do is emphasise these gaps with a bit more shadow. I think, what should we go for? We could go for something quite, I think I'm going to use the raisin. So turn to my browns, there it is. It's a very reddish brown, very dark, and I'm going to use it very carefully. Okay, so really just along the edge there. You could use a sort of darker brown like the coffee bean or something if you want, but I quite wanted to keep with the sort of orangey feel to our colours. There we go. Now we need to do the little top bit. I tend to do them always in a sort of olivey type green. I think I'll just use the foliage because I like it. I'm surprised it isn't my shortest pencil, but it isn't, because a few of them have broken and I've had to sharpen them a lot, whereas the foliage hasn't done that. Now I'm a little bit confused by a part of the picture. What's that? I'm wondering if that is supposed to be part of another pumpkin sitting behind this one. I'm just trying to put a bit of darker colour in some parts. Or, because we've got our candles here, I just can't work out what that is there. And that's another pumpkin. That's the top. Hang on. That's the top of it there. And that's the rest of it. So I am going to just colour that in actually while I remember what it is, or what I think it is. I'm going to make it look like one and hopefully it'll work. I'm going to use the different orange though. I'm going to use the flame just because I want it to look different to the other one. So again, darker here and lighter here. Keep that bit light. I'm not going to do too much detailing on that one because it's in the background, but I think that works. Now, where are we going to go next? Oh, let's have a think. We've got leaves here. We've got quite a few leaves. I'm tempted to do the leaves in the foliage actually, just keeping the greens the same. That's what I'm going to do. We could put a bit of brown on them to make them look a little bit more autumnal, but I think if they're pumpkin leaves, they might not, they don't change colour, I don't think. They probably do as they die off, but not fresh ones, if you know what I'm trying to get at, if you know what I mean. Now, we want to try and keep autumnal colours through, but because we're more Halloweeny as well, it's always a bit tricky. What do? Do we stick to greens and browns and oranges, but you know, we've got a witch's hat, and we've got our candles and things like that, so might mix it up a little bit, makes it a bit more fun as well. I'm doing quite a bit of just plain colouring here on the leaves. That might be okay. Now this display here on the wall looks to me like that could either be a bunch of grapes, a corn cob, or something, or a pine cone. But I'm going to do it as a corn cob because I think that would work with this sort of, oh, we've got loads of other leaves that I've missed out. Okay, never mind. We'll come back to those in a minute. I'm thinking a corn cob, so I am going to go with the sandcastle colour. Find it. Where is it? There it is. Sandcastle, and I'm going to do them as corn cobs. But if you disagree with me and think they're grapes or something completely different, then that's fine. Or, you know. I think it's now up here we've got a bit of one there and here. Just going to do all that area like that, and there's a bit here. I've got those leaves that I missed out, we'll go back to those. Again, the foliage is what I'm going to use. Now I've got a fireplace here going on, and I'm thinking about that. I quite often do it as a red bricks, but I quite like to do something a bit different for a change. So, like, my fireplace is made of sandstone bricks, not sandstone, limestone bricks. I quite like that idea, but I don't know if we've got the right sort of colour. We probably have. It's this sort of light creamy yellow, beige. I think we've got, I think the saffron mango is the perfect colour for those. So I'm just going to skip and do those. I've got, and while I'm thinking about it, so here we are, saffron mango. That bit to me looks like wood though. It's just these bricks that I'm going to do in this colour. It's a little bit, it's not quite right, but it's okay. Near enough. As I say, nice to do them a little bit different rather than a brick colour. You know, maybe choosing a Turkish delight. No, probably not. More like to go for a cardinal red for a brick colour. But nice to do, as I say, something a little bit different. It's got a little basket of fabric here. Now, in between these bricks there'll be a bit of a darker area. I was going to use the chive, it's a little bit too green. That's a bit, I think the willow is the colour. Use it sparingly because we don't want it too dark, but in between here, where the sort of mortar is between the bricks, a little bit darker. And also, like here, it's drawn, it's a bit darker on the inside. There we go, just gives a slightly more three-dimensional look. We'll decide on the rest of it later. Just going back and forth, bits and pieces here and there. Now, candles, I'm going to do those next. And I'm going to use purple. Now the hat, I'm going to use that colour. So I'm going to use this colour for the candles, amethyst. Amethyst for the candles, purple. I quite like a purple candle. So I'm going to go over the whole of it first, including this drippy bit. Both are going to be the same colour, like that. Now I think that's some drippy wax too. You may think it's a leaf. I wasn't entirely sure, but I decided to do it as drippy wax. So here, excuse me, we're going to do darker sides and a bit lighter to the middle to give it a more rounded feel. We're also going to do the same here, but under our drips we want to put a darker line just to make it look, show the shadow that would be under it, like that, and a bit of shadow behind there. Same here, so doing the bit below the drip first, so that's a little bit more intense, and then a line under there like that. On these bits I'm just going to make them a little bit dark on the bottom like that. Yeah, that's fine. Should we do the hat? I'm going to use the mauve. It's a much darker violety colour. I'm going to start light here and just put a layer down. We want to be able to see this black marking here, so we don't want it too dark, but we do need to put in some shadow, because down here would be more shadowy because it's a little bit lower down, and if we just do that, then it also helps to give a little bit of shape to our hat, because it would be rounded. Put a bit of shadow under there like that. There we go. Now the brim of the hat I think might be lightish. Like that. Sort of fading in towards the middle. I might darken it up in a bit, but I'm thinking this bit here would be quite dark, and I'm going to sort of fade it out towards the edge, but I want it to end up still darker than that brim, like that. And then the similar thing on the other side. Look, we've got this bit here which would be really dark, and then sort of fade it towards the edge. So I'm thinking here might be quite dark too. And then this bit be our lightest part. Just sort of fade it towards there. There we go. Now we've got all these fabrics around, and I'm thinking she's made the hat out of the fabric, so these two pieces I'm going to put both of them in this colour, because she's cut them out. She's obviously making her hat. Now along this edge here it'll be a bit darker where the other piece is shadowing it. But I'm thinking both these pieces in the same colour. I'm just trying to see if, yeah, we have got a darker colour, because the thread, I think, I seem to remember being taught a long time ago that when you're sewing, I'm just going to do this piece in this colour, and then we'll do that piece in different colour, as if it's her scrap fabric, as a basket full of scraps of fabric. And so there would obviously be some of this, but there might be some other colours too. I'm sure I was taught that when you sewed, you would use a darker colour cotton to the item you're sewing. So we're going to use a darker colour cotton here when we get to doing that bit. So there's that bit of fabric. This bit we're doing a different colour in a minute. Yes, so we'll do that cotton while I think about it. There's a dark purple. It's very, very dark. Use this. Just going to give it a sharpen. It's quite a small area of cotton. Cotton isn't the easiest thing to sew. I think I might have just broken my pencil. Try it. Oh, yeah. Right, let's try one more time. I've got a new blade in here, so should work. Doesn't want to. Hold on. Use my electric sharpener. So at the bottom here we want our darker colour, and then lighter towards the top. Now as you can see, it really is very dark. Now I want to still be able to see the black lines that are on here, so I'm not going to darken it too much, but you can see it's a darker colour cotton, and that's the idea. Right, okay, now this piece of fabric, and I'm not sure if this here is a piece of fabric or the carpet. It's quite, and here, what's that? I'm not sure. I think we'll do this piece anyway, and I'm quite thinking I'd like a sort of darkish pink colour. I think the deep rose might work nicely. Here it is, deep rose. I'm just gonna colour it in basically. I can see it's got like a line round it, as if it's got another colour on the edging. So I'm just leaving that bit at the moment. So once you've got a fairly even lay, you can put in your shadows like there, here and here, and then just tidy it up if you feel you need to. There we go. And I also think that this part here is a bit of the basket and the fabric. It might not be, but that's how I'm seeing it. Okay, so this little edge part I'm going to find a different colour for. Just going to look on my swatch chart. Let's use the pink heather. It's quite a lot lighter. Let's make that bit a bit more intense in there so it looks a little bit darker. There we go. Now we might as well do the basket while we're just doing it. What sort of colour? Yeah, I think the brown sugar is a great colour for the basket. Now we've got a lot of bits going on here, so with the handle I'm just going to block it in to start with. I'm going to make that fairly dark, intense actually, because it needs to stand out from that fireplace brick. And I'm just going to block in the rest actually, and then I might put some shadow in with a different colour actually. I think that'll be easier. So we'll just get this bit done. What I like about Morgan O'Brien's books is that the pictures are fairly quick to do. You can spend a really long time doing them, of course, but if you want something fast, you can pick one out that's quite small. This is the bourbon. I'm going to use it for shadow. I'm going to put a bit along the bottom of all of this handle. Yeah, you can pick out something fairly simple and get it done pretty quickly, which can be rather nice. I'm just sort of going to pick out the weave. I mean, I know it's already been marked on, but I think sometimes it's quite nice to just go over it a little bit with your colour like that. There we go. I think that's fine. Now, we could do this wooden shelf above the fireplace. Again, we could use the bourbon because you won't notice it's the same colour because this is being used as our darker colour. Now I'm thinking this bit here on the inside will probably be more shadowed. And we have this bit here which will be a bit lighter. And this bit at the bottom, which again might be particularly there, a bit of shadow like that. And under here. Then this bit just across there. Now we also have a line coming down here, and I'm wondering if that is like sort of the edge of the mantle. So but I'm keeping it lighter because it's in the background, like that. Now we have a few leaves here and here that I haven't done yet. I'm going to do them in a slightly more autumnal feel. So I've grabbed this colour called Pickle, which is a little bit browner. It's still not like brown, it's still leafy. And this bit here. Now I'll probably do some green in the background here as well later, but I'm going to leave that for now. And we'll do her jeans next. I think they're denim jeans. That's how I'm going to colour them when I can find the denim. Here it is. Oh, that's my elbow. So I'm going to just colour them in blue. So I'm going to put some blue down first, and then we'll work out what's going to be darker and lighter. Oh, we must remember that too, the belt loops, little details. I wonder how many people make Halloween costumes still, or ever. My mum used to make me costumes, not Halloween, didn't do Halloween, but I remember school plays and things. There was one, I remember her finding it quite stressful, we were playing the part of the wind, as you do, me and my twin sister, and the outfits that there was one outfit that that the school already owned, which they lent her so that she could use it. I'm just doing a little bit of shadowy marks in places, just going a little bit darker, and it was basically like a long dress, which had sort of shredded material so that it looked all flappy, and it's quite hard to explain, but anyway, so she'd borrowed this one and she was trying to make ours the same, and I remember I'm sure she used old tights for it, the sort of skin coloured, you know, the sort of fawn coloured light brownish tights that used to be able to, I guess you still can get them. It's a long time since I bought tights. Not black, I always buy black tights. So anyway, she had these old tights and in long strips, and then the fabric in long strips as well. Right, I'm not sure what colour to do the belt or the jumper or anything else yet, so I'm going to do the candle flames. I know I'm jumping about back and forth. This is how I would normally colour if I'm on my own. I just do this, that and the other back and forth. So I'm going to grab the pure red, and that's going to be the top of our flame, and we're also going to do the fire because it's going to be the same. So a tiny dab of red there, and then the same here at the top of the flames, like that. Then we can move to an orange. What should we go from? Yes, there's a red orange, that'll work if I can find it. There it is. So here's our red orange. We do a little bit here, and the same here. Sort of fade it down quite a bit on the fire because quite a big area of flame. On the candles we don't have an awful lot. So then we want to go to more of a proper orange. I think the flame, I know we've used it before, but I think that's what's going to work best. Flame. Of course we don't have to keep using different colours all the time. Sometimes it's quite good to have a limited palette anyway. A bit less daunting sometimes to use less pencils. There we go. Now we need a more yellowy colour. Thinking maybe we'll go to amber gold. On our candles that'll be our last colour. Now some people would do a bit of reflective yellow here, but I don't know if I will. There we go. I can do one last yellow on that fire. I think we'll do a sunflower. I think that's a sunflower. No, it's not. I think that must be it then. Yeah, sunflower. So we don't need that on these, they're completed. So just to take our flames down a bit like that in the basket. Now behind the flame I think we want black or very dark grey, and underneath, so let's have a think. I'm going to grab my black first if I can find it. There it is. Now I'm thinking, actually we don't have an underneath, so yeah, let's use the black here, up here. Now there would be smoke, but I often think that the hearth is quite black and shadowy and smoky, of course, and it sort of sets off the fire quite well if you make it quite black like that. Now I'm going to make it much darker just along the edge here and the top there, because when we draw in this bit, it will set it off a little bit better, I think. So our actual fireplace, I think maybe we could just do in a sort of metallic look. The Winter Lake has been a good one. I've been using this for metallic silvery colours. So I'm just going to draw it in a bit here. It's quite dark here. Like that. Now here, I'm thinking this front edge might be a little bit lighter in places, and then maybe this is set back. Let's just colour it all in. I'm thinking maybe the bottom's quite dark, and then all the little bits that are, you can see lines and details, I'm going to make them darker as if they're sort of engraved and sort of shadowy on our fireplace. Now we've got this little bit of wall here between the fire and the tiles. In my fireplace, that is, it's not quite the same. Yeah, it's just a plain painted bit of wall, isn't it? I think I'm going to use the butterscotch colour. Oops. I don't think I've used this before. It doesn't look like it's even been sharpened. There we go. I might do all the wall this colour, actually. It's quite a nice sort of colour. My walls are buttermilk, not quite this bright. I think it's quite nice. Now I have to decide whether I'm going to do all of the wall or just inside here, but I think I'll do it all. This colour. There's a hand there. Might as well just work our way round while I've got the colour out. I was going to do a bit more leaf, but I think that works in there. We'll go up to there. I think that's the window frame. Yeah, and then maybe, yeah, a bit behind here, up to where I think the window frame is, probably about there. It's not quite drawn in, but that's okay. It sets off our pumpkin quite nicely in our leaves, doesn't it? There we go. And I think this is like a window seat or something, so I'll do that slightly differently. Let's pop that one back. Right. Let's do the window frame. Oops. I'm quite keen actually to use the same grey. It's worked quite nicely. So use the Winter Lake. I think that one will be slightly darker. I think this is the one that we can see front on, and this is to the side. So I'm going to make that a bit darker just so that it looks, you can sort of see the difference between the two pieces. I'll do that all the way through. You can see we've got some trees outside to colour in, but because they're quite faint and far away, I think the idea is that we probably do them quite loosely in light. So I shall do that in a bit. There we go, there's that bit. Now the sky outside and the trees, I'll do the trees first. I'm thinking quite a dark colour. I'm actually going to use this, the light olive, but I'm not going to press mega hard. This is for the pine trees. Very sharp pencil. This must have gone into my electric sharpener. So I'm going to put them all the way down to the ground, like that. There we go, and being a bit darker means it sets off our flame quite well. as well. We can just make them a little bit darker under the lines like that. And these look slightly different, like there's some bushes. So I'm going to grab a leaf green to do those. So there it is, leaf green. And again, quite loose and light. And then just a little bit darker above where there are lines. Like that. Now the sky, thinking at the time of year, I don't think it's going to be like a Mediterranean blue. I'm thinking it might be more of a grey blue. I'm going to use the blue yonder. I think that might be quite a good colour for the sky. I usually like to do sky in a horizontal direction. Now there's some lines drawn on the glass to indicate it's a window. We could add to that, but I think it's fine. Just realised I need a bit of the yellowy colour in there, so we'll do that before I forget. Oops, that was the butterscotch. I'm trying to find it. There it is, the butterscotch colour. Now I'm going to do that sort of wooden windowsill. Now that we did this wooden shelving in the bourbon, wasn't it? I'm going to do the windowsill in the same. And we're going to try and follow this sort of direction. You might think that's wall, it's up to you. But I sort of think this sort of woody bit here, just because of the way it's drawn. And I'm thinking this bit might be darker because I feel that this bit is facing us, whereas I feel like that bit's flat. Okay, now let's think about her jumper. I'm thinking a pink might be nice, but maybe a lighter pink than we've used. Perhaps the orchid, that's rather pretty. I can see a jumper being made from an orchid pink. Again, I don't want to press mega hard because I want to see the pattern of the cable knitting coming through. I remember watching my mum make cable jumpers, putting the stitches onto a separate little needle and twisting them round or whatever. It all seems so magical and difficult. I can knit, but I've never tried to follow a complicated pattern. I used to knit a lot of toys and things, the Jean Greenhow toys. They were always really cute and they were very simple, just a lot of plain and pearl knitting, basically casting on and off and knitting really. It was very straightforward. Little details. I do remember making a ghost and a pumpkin, and a witch. Halloween-y type designs. I'm just going a little bit darker and just trying to even up my colouring a little bit. There we go. Now her belt, I think I'm going to do it in a darker blue. That's denim. Denim's actually quite a dark blue. I think I will use the denim and just intensify it a bit. So just go in with lots of layers. and it will match. Get about like this. It's actually, I think it's different shades of blue. Now I've coloured over this a little bit, the buckle, but what I think I'm going to do is try and make it look a little bit silvery. And we'll do the scissors at the same time because they need to be silvery. And again, we'll use the Winter Lake colour. So for the buckle, I'm going to make it darker at the bottom and the top and leave a white bit in the middle, and for the little bit similar, so it just looks a bit shiny. The scissors we can do a bit more, so on the loopy bits leave the shine on the outside, I think, and then on this bit leave a bit there in the middle, and here sort of again in the middle a bit, but put a shadow there. There we go. Now tape measures are usually yellow or white. Maybe we can do it in a very light grey. What have we got? We've got a fell mist. We'll use that. I don't really want it to be bright yellow. Actually, I think my tape measure is white with red markings on. But I think the little grey one is fine. Now also our cotton reel I'm going to do in grey rather than white. Okay, now we've got a book. Let's have a look at this book. It's got a picture of a witch on it. I think I'm going to silhouette that witch picture. So I'm going to sharpen my black and colour it in black to make it a little bit easier because it's so small. And because I'm not pressing too hard, it should still be quite clear as to what's going on in the picture, like that. And then I'm going to do a black bit on here as well, and the edges, why not? Then I'm thinking the bit behind the witch, I might leave white or do silver. Actually, I've got silver. I might do it silver. Yeah, let's do that silver. Oops, let's just pop this one away. So I've got, it's actually a metallic silver. I need to just sharpen it. Here we go, silver. And do that for this little moon part. Now the book itself I was thinking could be quite good in a dark blue, but because of the blue jeans, thinking maybe I'll do it in the slate grey. It's still a bluish colour. It's a bit darker and it'll look definitely very different to the jeans. And then to keep it quite light though. Now I'm not going to make it too intense. There we go. Now we have her face, hands, and the carpet to go. Now her face, I feel that she should be quite pale. I'm going to use the Dijon. Oops, clink. It's a sort of pale yellow. I'm going to use it for all of her and then decide which bits to change, because I feel that she would probably have some darker, some lighter bits inside her mouth. We won't do with this. But I'm thinking if we do her ears, which are sort of drawn to look like hair, in a darker colour, and this bit, it'll look a bit more like hair. Now I think this is her tail and this is her foot. So I need a slightly, I'm going to go with the chai, I think, and do her hair, ears and tail with this. Again, just a light layer, just to make it look a little bit different without being too dark. There's a train going by. And the tail. There we go. Now our carpet. I quite like a beigey brown. We do have a biscotti, but let me have a quick look around. We could use some melon. No, I think I'm gonna go for the biscotti. Just see if it works. Use it quite gently so that it's not too intense. So here it is, biscotti. I'm still not sure whether this is a bit of fabric, but I think I'm just going to pretend that it isn't, because we've got a lot of little bits on the floor that look a little bit bumpy or darker or different. So I'll decide when I get round there. You notice I am avoiding doing that bit first. Let's have a think. Let's do these dotty bits a little bit darker. Morgan O'Brien tends to let us know where to do things a bit darker. Whoops. I'm just going to do it in this. There we go. I feel like she needs a little bit more colour on her face. So I'm going to use this mocha colour and just do a bit where there's these little dots. I'm going to make that bit a little bit darker, I think. Just like that. And then inside her mouth we need to do a little bit of colour. Always tricky to know. I'm actually going to use this. This is the Almond Frost. It's a sort of pinky grey. I think that might work better than doing something really bright pink because it's shadowy in there. Yeah. Okay. Now, if you wish, you could do some white lines now over the glass. I'll show you. Yeah, the Jelly Roll 8. And see, some have been drawn here in black. I'm going to ignore those and do my own in white, except my pen doesn't work. Hang on. I've got a Jelly Roll 10, so it's a bit thicker, and I know this one works. So do them in a different place to where the black ones are, so that they sort of stand out. This one still doesn't want to work. There we go. There are some lines around the candle which you could fill in. I would use a yellow pen if I had one. I don't think I do in here. I have one in here. So I'm going to use a metallic gold Jelly Roll pen and just do these lines around the candle. I might put some around the fire as well. There we go, and I think I am done. Let's put it straight for you. There we go. There. So it's a rather seasonal picture from the Cottage Core book. So thank you so much for watching. All the details of how to grab a copy if you want one for yourself are in the video description, so head there if you want to find out more. But thank you so much for watching and happy colouring.